Hello everyone, Tech1421 here with another Pokemon TCG online gameplay commentary. Today we have a Virizion Genesect gameplay. As my friend Mike likes to call it, grass guys. A lot of people call it Virgin, but that's V-I-R-G-E-N. Just because Virizion and then Genesect, hopefully that makes sense. But my friend Mike likes to call it Grass Guys, and so I call it Grass Guys. I usually just call it Virizion Genesect. I don't like all those fancy nicknames for different decks, but regardless of all that funny, comedial, whatever the word is, stuff, this is a pretty interesting game, and it's not a game that you typically see from Virizion Genesect. Normally things run pretty smoothly. You want to get your turn 2 attachment onto your Virizion and go on and then use your Emerald Slash for 50 or 70 depending if you have the Muscle Band on there, and attach 2 Grass Energies to the Genesect and get things rolling. But my opponent is playing a Fire deck, and my turn 2 for my opponent, you see the Muscle Band, not the Muscle Band, you see the Silver Bangle, even worse for me. You see the Silver Bangle, you see the Fire Energy, you see the DCE. He's hitting for 160 turn 2, has 2 other Charmanders on the bench ready to go, and a Charizard in his hand. So this is not a typical start for Virizion Genesect. This is not a good matchup for Virizion Genesect. Any Fire deck is not good for Virizion Genesect to face, especially Pyroar. Thankfully he's not playing Pyroar, because that would be even worse. He's playing a Charizard deck, so props goes out to my opponent for at least trying to make a Charizard deck and playing it pretty nice as well, to perfection. Not necessarily perfection, because it's hard to reach perfection, but he played it as good as he possibly could in my mind. So did pretty good this game, and this is a pretty fun little game. Munna is a card in the deck. It's a little secret tech that I like to have. Props goes out to my friend Wes for using Munna in this deck. He came to me one day, he's like, you know what, Munna might actually be a pretty cool card for this deck. It has the long distance Hypnosis as its ability. What that does, you flip a coin. You can do this once per turn. You can do it for every Munna that you have on your bench. I only run one. I run a one of. It's a little secret tech that I like to have. And you flip a coin. If heads, your opponent's Pokemon goes to sleep. If tails, you go to sleep. But the nice thing about Virizion Genesect is Genesect has that ability on him. Not really sure what the name is. I always forget what it is. But the ability, what it does is if you have a Grass Energy attached to your Pokemon, including Virizion, if you have a Grass Energy attached to any of your Pokemon, they can't be hit by special conditions. So even if you hit tails, you don't go to sleep, which is great. Now, Genesect has an ability called Red Signal. I chose not to use it that turn right there, but I could have if I wanted to. I do get the knockout on Charizard, which is nice. He knocked out my Virizion the turn before, which kind of sucks, but what can you do? He has another Charizard here. This is his turn 4 now for him, and he's actually going to get the knockout here with Charizard's first attack, and then he has also a Charmeleon on his bench and ready to go as well. Doesn't have any energy on that yet, but most likely will, because my opponent's deck is running pretty nice right now. He has those Blacksmiths in his deck, so he can easily power up some more Charmeleons or Charizards. So this is not looking good. He has taken 4 prizes. I've only taken 1. I'm kind of in the hole. He can easily just knock out my Virizion for game or any Grass EX Pokemon. I don't have any energies on the board, so what am I going to do? I'm going to rely on Munna to carry me to victory, because Munna is OP. And this particular gameplay is not necessarily to showcase Virizion Genesect as a deck, but it's to showcase how dominant and how good Munna is in his long distance Hypnosis, and how clutch it can be in tight situations. This is definitely one of those tight situations where I don't have any really energy on the board. I have 1 Grass Energy, but I can't really put him into play because you know, I would die and lose the game, and you can't attach that Grass Energy. It's not Strong Energy, whatever the special Grass Energy is called. I forget. I think it's called Herb Energy, Herbal or Herb Energy, and you can't attach that to a non-Grass type Pokemon. So I couldn't attach that to Raichu there. And I already burned 2 of my DCs early in the game trying to Ultra Ball for a Genesect. So things are not looking very good. I kind of put Munna up there, hoping to get the long distance Hypnosis. It didn't really work out for me too much. He used an escape rope, which is nice because Munna's my win condition at this point. And he chose not to kill it. So that's actually works in my favor. Now I'm going to go ahead and Juniper, which is great. And I'm going to get a full bench here, which is definitely needed for my comeback to just get a Raichu to get the most damage possible. And I'm most likely going to retreat. Raichu has that free retreat into Munna once again. Try to get this Charmeleon to get him to sleep. Put him to sleep and leave him asleep as much as I possibly can. So yeah, there's that long distance Hypnosis, and we get a Hez. So essentially there's a 25% chance, if you do the math, that your opponent's going to stay asleep, going into their turn. Because you got a 50% chance that they'll get put to sleep in the first place, and then when it goes into their turn, they flip again. And that's another, if they're already asleep, that's another 50% chance that they'll stay asleep. Get a grand total of 25% chance, and that's my college education for me. Not really. I've learned a lot more than that, but I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. But yeah, so this game, not necessarily to showcase Virizion Genesect, because this is far from a typical Virizion Genesect game that you can have, but this is kind of just to showcase the secret tech of long distance Hypnosis and how good it could possibly be in a tight situation. And you can imagine during a normal kind of game how it can come in handy at least once during the course of the game, where it might cost your opponent a turn where they can't attack. And that's kind of the whole point of the card. It can also come in handy to be kind of a just to throw out there and just let it kind of die, and that way your opponent has to take 7 prizes in the grand scheme of thing, as long as they don't kill a Raichu. If they're just killing EXs, they have to kill 3 EXs and the Munna. So yeah, that's why Munna's in the deck, for those 3 or 2 things, all those things I mentioned. But it's a good card. I love the card. I think it's amazing, and I'm really glad that my friend Wes pointed it out to me way back when. And yeah, so I'll have more Virizion Genesect gameplays out there, and in the future, for sure. This is not going to be the only one, but I wanted to get to this game before the other ones, just because I thought it was really comical, and I just want to showcase Munna, because I don't think Munna gets enough recognition of how great of a card it actually is, and it's a pretty phenomenal card in a deck like this, or any type of deck where you don't have to worry about special conditions putting you down. And yeah, so you see there my opponent wakes up, which kind of sucks. Actually, no, I'm wrong. He stayed asleep, and then he wakes up coming in my turn. So I'm actually going to knock him out here. Now I have to go through the options. What am I going to do? I see a lot of things in the discard pile, which I wish were in my deck at this point. But I can't really do much about that. And there's no Lysander's Last Resort yet. That's coming out in the next set, which is going to be a questionable card. I don't really know what to think about that card. For those of you who do not know what Lysander's Last Resort does, both players shuffle their discards into their deck. So it's a pretty interesting card, and that's coming out in the next set for Pokemon. Phantom Forces. So you can see there I get the knockout on his Charizard. I think I've killed 3 Charizards at this point. And there's no way for him to get a Charizard this turn. He does kill my Pikachu, or Raichu, but all I need is a Grass Energy and I win. And I looked through my deck previously. I know the Grass Energy's there. And I'm just going to Juniper. I'm looking through it. There's 2 energies in my deck left, so I can Juniper for like whatever's left in my deck. So those 5 cards. And I'm going to G-Booster for the knockout, because why not? And Munna definitely saved me in this game. If it wasn't for Munna, I would have lost a long time ago. But yeah, so you can see there I got a little prize, and it was actually a pack. So I thought, you know what, we'll open the pack on screen just for the heck of it. It was an X and Y pack. Blastoise on the cover. I go to my cards. I open up the pack. Nothing good. I got 2 roller skates though, which is kind of cool. A Cassius. But I do hope you guys enjoyed the game. In the comments down below, let me know what you think about Munna, as well as Virizion Genesect and all that stuff. If you enjoyed, please leave a like. That'd be greatly appreciated. And I'll see you on later. Peace.
You Hey, Doc.